Ladies and gentlemen, from the Chickasaw Choctaw Nation, let's welcome Mr. Cochise Anderson.
I forgot. When you're on the outside, everything seems so normal.
As if what, Marcia?
As if we were like the others. Like the outsiders. Like the real people.
Ha! Caught you sleeping with your eyes open. You're lying with your mouth closed. Don't you know love is a 5-letter word? Trust, the word that defies all foes. Unmistakable is the sight to see when you separate yourself from yourself and me.
There's a war. Stop dreaming. There's a war. Stop. There's a war. Dreaming. Stop. There's a war. Stop. Dreaming. 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 There's a war. War at your door. War in your slumber. War on the street. Stop. War in your soul. Dreaming. Nowhere in me is the righteousness, the pride of man. Who? To kill a man. This is something that you can't understand. I couldn't just kill a man. To who? For what? To who? For what? You slay nature as if it's yours. You'll kill for causes, which is worse. There's a war going on right here for so long. The cries, the circle die, but you know they linger on. Turn away from love and blaming your brother. You've given enough causes. I didn't believe in another. But serpents rise from again, from the dust of soldiers who swore never to die again. There's a war. People die. There's a war. People deny. There's a war. People die. There's a war, people deny. There's a war, people die. There's a war, people deny. There's a war, people die. War, people deny. War, people die. War, people deny. Still sleeping? Because the monster has his textbook in hand. It's in how to stay awake without even thinking. Even thinking. Or organized apathy. Who really cares? All right, my warriors, we're going to show them what the Kemosabe therapy is about. When I'm going to be your drill sergeant tonight, when I say organized apathy, I want you to hear who really cares. Here we go. Organized apathy. Who really cares? Organized apathy. Who really cares? Organized apathy. Who really cares? Death is something felt, bitter, unseen. Shh, the children. Snug as conformist in your, our, my, your, our American dream. Wake up! War in through the out ears. War easy as TV. Stop. War in your soul. Dreaming. American interest. Thou shalt not. But what if we don't stop dreaming? Turn away from love and blaming your mother, your father, your sister, your brother. You've given enough causes. I believe in another. Well, endure the heat. We mourned our loss, still here, still here, still here. Well, 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 we rode through the flood, we traveled to the dust, we endured the heat, we mourned our loss, still here, still here, still here. Well, we rode through the flood, we traveled into the dust, we endured the heat, we mourned our loss, still here, still here, still here. Well, we rode through the flood, we traveled into the dust, we endured the heat, we mourned our loss, still here, still here, still here. Yakoke, thank you. Damia, Yakoke, thank you. Halito, Juchukma, Kanama. Greetings and hello, friends. Sahol Chifa Ut. My name is Cochise, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Saya Ut, Oklahoma, if you couldn't tell. I am from the Chickasaw and Choctaw nations of Oklahoma, which is my language. Okla means town, or where the people live. Huma means red. Oklahoma, where the red people live. But I have been very honored to be a part of the Minnesota Native community here since 1993. And I'm just very honored to be here, be part of Indigenous music, to share with you some songs, some poems. And I'm going to share with you one right now I wrote when I was in New York City. I was doing a poetry reading. I was doing a lot of storytelling, and I was doing some history on Minneapolis, which is Native American, Lenape word for the small hilly island they use for their hickory trees for their bows. And the bottom of Manhattan, was always a trading area. The Lenape people always were trading furs and tobacco and other things like that. And so I was walking downtown toward that area, and I had done all this research, and I was walking past the federal courthouse, which is right where West Broadway turns into Broadway, and I saw this bus pass, and I looked, and I was the only one walking downtown. Everyone was walking uptown, and I saw, when this bus passed, these two ancient hunters carrying a deer on the pole. I was like, whoa, did anybody else see that? And so I just kept on walking down to my poetry reading downtown, and I did my poetry reading. I came back up, and I was living in Hell's Kitchen at the time on 48, between 10th and 11th. And you have to get off on 40th and Broadway. And I got up, and it was one of those October cold, it gets dark at 5 o'clock, and the wind's blowing. And I thought, man, I wonder if they made it up here yet. And in my mind's eye, I followed these hunters going to Central Park. And in my mind's eye, I could see this flame, this campfire. And I kept getting closer and closer to this campfire, and I could hear these words, this language I couldn't understand. And I saw that they had cut some split logs to sit on, and some of them were sitting on the ground, but they were talking. And I stepped on a twig, and they all looked at me, and I went, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. And one of the hunters pointed, tapped the split log to say, sit. And so I was dressed in my contemporary clothes, and they offered me a piece of that deer meat. And I ate that deer meat, and they went continue on talking in their language that I couldn't understand, but I could hear their laughter. And I realized that was a dad, that was an uncle, that was a brother, that was a cousin, that was a nephew. They knew each other every single day of their lives. And the laughter and the heat from the campfire went over my face. And I could feel it roll like a flag unfurls. I said, that is their flag, man. They know who they are. They are connected to the earth and the fire and the animals and to each other. And so I wrote this poem called Old Ones Who Whisper, but I'm going to put it in with a poem. I wrote a song, an ancient song that was given to me by my Haudenosaunee friends out in New York called the Mohawk Robin Dance Song. And I'm going to try and do the dance. It's usually done, it's a social dance, so it's cool. But usually we go in a counterclockwise circle, the Eastern Woodland peoples. Usually our dances are done around a fire to represent the Father Sun, and our hearts are on the left side. We go around the sacred fire, our hearts closer to the sun. That's why we go in a counterclockwise circle, the Eastern Woodlands. So this is the Mohawk Robin Dance Song in honor of my native New Yorkers. Yo, yo, way, yo, way, hey, yo, way, yo, way, hey, yo, way, yo, way, hey, yo, way, yo, ho, yo, away, yo, away, yo, way, ha, yo, way, ha, yo, way, ya, hey, yo, way, ya, hey, yo, way, ha, yo, way, ha, yo, way, yo, ho. The whip of the steel breeze ignites the thoughts of warm smiles from long ago. From a thunderous crack, a vision exposed glares right through the night, exploring the concrete from under your door. I mop up the tears of the people who lived here before. Understand, time is not our command, but always know I loved you along the way. And through the glare exposed in the night, the gallop of sacred stories rush the wind. The scent of burning fires waver like a flag unseen. So I know who watches over, but it's a secret to me. So I ask you, sister and brother, is mine for you or yours for me? Yo, oh, yo, away, yo, away, yo, way, ha, yo, way, ha, yo, way, ya, hey, yo, way, ya, hey, yo, way, ha, yo, way, ha, yo, way, yo, ho. Thank you. Don't worry, we travel all over the place with my musical styles. I just doing that to always, when I go to schools, I always talk to young people about how important it is to realize where we are in the continuum. We are part of the people who came before us, and we will be a part of the people who will come after us. And it's our responsibility to try and leave it a better place. So I'm gonna play a song I wrote called The Three Sisters, referring to, of course, corn, beans, and squash on the flute, which is, of course, I call it the first Native American telephone, really like a cell phone. You take it anywhere you want. And it was a way for young men to court or to try and get the young women to listen to them. And so they go out into the forest and listen to the mating calls, the turkey, the dove, or the loon. They try and imitate those sounds on their flutes, thinking, hey, if it works for the turkey, it works for the dove, works for the loon. Just might work for me. So this is, of course, in reference to the Three Sisters, corn, beans, and squash. And if you put lima beans, corn, and yellow squash in the same dish, you get a Native American food called suffering succotash. There you go. So this is the Three Sisters.
All right, moving on. We got a little bit of time here. I'm gonna do a song again in honor of our state bird, the loon, not the mosquito as I thought first when I first got here. But and also I'm dedicating this to all my friends here that have taken me into their homes, into their hearts, and into their communities. And whether it's here in Minneapolis or up north, I was up at a place doing a residency, and afterwards I was up at Black Duck, and I started playing with the loons, trying to see if they would answer back, and they gave me this song. And so this is in honor of our state bird, the loon song. Thank you. All right, our final flute song, and we're going to do it on they call it a medicine flute. And this was a flute that they used to help cure people after the medicine person was able to bring in the herbs, the plants, and the right chants they would sing. And they would also, in the Southwest, I know they would use a double barrel or a medicine flute, made like a regular cedar flute with an extra chamber, which kind of plays the drone, kind of like, the bagpipe, depending on how hard the wind is blowing into it to give the different octaves. The other side, of course, plays the melody. And I'm gonna play a love song that I wrote called Chehole, which in my language means, well, let me tell you a little bit about it. Because I want to tell you, I asked my grandmother, who speaks Chickasaw as her first language. She didn't have to learn to speak English until she was 33 when they had their relocation in 1959 to Los Angeles. And now she teaches Chickasaw to linguistic students at UCLA. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, I asked her, I said, how do you say I love you, And she goes, well, we really don't say that. And I said, what do you mean we don't say that? I said, you have to tell somebody that you care for them, that they mean something to you. She says, well, we say Chehole, which means you are sacred to me. Because in English, you say, I love you. See, it's always about I, I love you, but it's about me loving you, okay? Chehole is you are sacred to me. So when I go to colleges, I always tell the guys, try this, guys. Baby, I love my dog, I love my job, but you are sacred to me. So this is how this goes. Chehole, thank you.